Okay, welcome to chapter 11, and this is all about gaming and casino hotels. So, the story of gaming goes that it was first recorded back to the early Chinese dynasties, and the ancient Greeks also considered it as immoral. So, if you were ever found gambling in ancient Greek, it was seen as immoral and you were most likely stoned to death. In the Bible, in the Old and in the New Testament, it was also, we also read that they mentioned people gambling. In Europe, the games roulette and blackjack were very popular. And in many countries, casinos were owned and controlled by the government. So nowadays, it is owned and operated by private persons and investors. So back in the day, it was run by the government. So in the United States, gaming and in Nevada and in New Jersey, in the early 20th century, it was illegal in most states. And the Great Depression, if you like history, it was revived. The Great Depression actually revived gambling. And if you go onto YouTube and you Google a little bit, Harrah is one of the largest casino companies in the world. It is a huge gamble or a casino actually. They've got so many games. It's humongous. Actually go and have a look, Google or go on YouTube and see Harrah's. And then, believe it or not, Hawaii and Utah, it is absolutely illegal to gamble there. Utah and Hawaii is the only states that still prohibit any forms of gambling. So it's completely illegal. Riverboat and offshore gambling, it was only legalized in 1997, so you were not allowed to gamble offshore. Indian gambling, it was allowed. They were promoting it to promote tribal economic development, and the reason for that was to protect it from organized crime. And then in China, Macau, the city Macau is the only place in China where gambling is still or is actually legal to gamble. Now, a lot of times casinos have a hotel connected to it. If you look at or you think about in Johannesburg, Monte Casino, don't think about it as a hotel with a casino attached. Rather think about it as the other way around. Think about it as a casino with guest rooms attached, with restaurants attached, shopping arcades, or even theme parks attached, because they don't actually make that much money with the rooms and things like that. If you think about it, gambling accounts for about 58% of the total hotel revenue. So the gambling aspect makes more money than the actual hotel. How is it organized? Basically, the organization and management is a little bit different. You have the president that is in charge of the casino, and then you've got the vice president of all the different departments. So you've got the vice president of casino operations, and then you've got the vice president of the hotel operations, and so forth. Then what is very important that I want you to know from this chapter, and that is very popular being asked, and most definitely section A and section B, is the casino operations. So I want you to know the different games. So you've got the table games and you've got the slot machines. So the different types of table games that we normally find in a casino is baccarat, blackjack, craps, and roulette. So for exams and for tests, you must be able to differentiate between the different games. So what is the difference between baccarat and blackjack? They don't mention poker in the textbook. For some reason, I don't know, but Poker obviously is also a table game. And then slot machines is a very favorable game in a casino. The reason for that is because slot machines brings in the atmosphere in a casino, because that's what makes all the noise in a casino. It's the most profitable games for a casino. It actually brings in the most amount of money, because people sit in front of a slot machine and just pull that lever the whole time. They have no idea the amount of money that they're actually playing. And it's also the least labor intensive, because they don't have to employ somebody to stand by the slot machine. Then another thing that you need to know is the terms used in a casino. So it's also some of the positions that you find. So if you can see over here, you've got your markers, the cashier's cage, the pit, the fill and credit slips, drop box, table drop, slots drop and hold, the table win and the hold percentage. Very favorable questions in section B, match the column, those kind of things. So please know your different terminology that is asked, and you'll find that in your textbook. So please understand it. Every key term and behind every chapter, in every chapter is key term, so you have to know that. Then the different employees that we find in a casino as well. What does a croupier do? What does dealers do? Floor people and shift manager. What is their responsibilities? So all of that once again in section B, section A. So your casino terms, your casino games, and then your casino employees. Very favorable section B questions. Then with regards to your casino customers and your casino marketing, we've asked this as a 10-mark question where you need to explain the type of customers that comes to a casino. You need to know their characteristics. So we have combined these two, the customers and the marketing, as one question. So there's basically 3 types of customers that comes to your casino. You've got your grind players, which is very similar to your low-end customer. Your grind players and your low-end customer, similar. They don't spend a lot of money. They come to the casino with a budgeted amount. They play and they leave. So they don't really, when they win something and they say, oh, I'm going to take a chance and play a little bit more. You've got your middle range customer or so on. They spend about $3,500 to $5,000. They do like table games, but they also like slot machines. So they are a little bit adventurous. And then you've got your high rollers or your high-end players. Now, casinos favor them quite a lot, and they offer them loyalty cards too, and also things like eating at a restaurant, staying at a hotel, and so on. These are the guys that drops quite a lot of money, and they normally play your table games like blackjack, poker, and those kind of things. So they are the guys that comes in there with the black suits and the cigars and drinks all the expensive alcohol. So please have a look in your textbook, and I'll be able to answer this for a 10-mark question. But combine these 2 parts. Then with regards to future marketing trends, there's obviously things have changed from then until now. They offer complimentary items because they want their guests to stay longer. The more they stay, the longer they stay, the more they actually spend. Also, you can get like loyalty cards or be part of a slot club, and then you get electronic cards where you can load money on a card instead of bringing in cash. And then you've got your casino controls and regulations. Obviously, they've got accounting controls. Accounting controls includes things like they use sophisticated formulas and to actually calculate expected profitability by the game, each table, and by the shift. So they have quite strict controls with regards to accounting. With regards to equipment, they obviously have CCTV cameras and those eyes everywhere because they need to control We've all seen movies where they check every table. There's a camera above every table to make sure that nobody is cheating, and so forth. They've got surveillance cameras, safes, lock boxes, and things like that, because there's a lot of money being played. And then with regards to human controls, there is at every staff level, from pit bosses, security guards, on-site inspectors, they monitor every transaction, they monitor the staff's behavior, they have to be, in control of everything. I would also assume that, when they hire staff, the staff gets screened as well. They shouldn't have any criminal background, a good credit score, things like that as well. So that's all part of casino controls and regulations. A very short chapter. So I want you to understand, you need to know the casino terms, the customers, the games, all of that. That's the most important part that you need to know for tests and exams in this chapter.